Dave's winners and Heath's winners. Then we'll do the losers. Dave, you said Travis Etienne. Would you rather have Etienne or Ken Walker rest of season?
Oh, come on, Walker.
Would you rather have Etienne or Aaron Jones rest of season? Another winner.
Yeah, he was a big-time winner. I would say Jones over Etienne.
Would you rather have Etienne, last one, Etienne or T. Higgins? Who would you draft first if you were drafting today?
I think I'd want to go Higgins. I love what the Bengals are doing on offense.
Okay.
Past 2 weeks have been really good.
Yeah, and you know what? That transitions. So Etienne's an obvious winner. You're starting him. Next week he's going to tear up the Broncos. That transitions us to Tyler Boyd, Dave. 8 catches, 155 yards and a touchdown. He had a 60-yard touchdown catch. And this is his second 100-yard game of the year. He now has 3 touchdowns this season. He also had an almost touchdown. He came inches away of another. Mm-hmm. So he was started in 49% of leagues. What do you do with Tyler Boyd?
I think he's a good number 3 receiver rest of season. And one of the reasons why I don't know exactly what the Bengals have done to start to break up the cover 2 defenses that they're seeing, but Boyd's been a big target. He's been a huge part of it. 12 PPR points last week. This was a huge game this week. He's not going to be like this every week, but he's a legit candidate to start for fantasy managers. He's never going to get double covered. Good slot receiver and an awesome offense with a great quarterback.
Your third winner is Paris Campbell, 4% roster, 2 games in a row with double-digit targets, 7 or more catches. He caught a touchdown today. 2 games in a row with a touchdown for Paris Campbell. What's going on here?
Well, number 1, he's staying healthy, which is good. Number 2, Matt Ryan he doesn't have time to throw. That was a big problem for him in the first half. And he made some bad throws too. You want to talk about a washed-looking quarterback. Matt Ryan's got to be on the list too. He's just not as big of a fantasy name as the other quarterbacks that Heath talked about. But I think Paris Campbell's going to evolve into being a good slot option for him and a good short area target for him. And I still think he could have a floor each week of 12 PPR points, 6 for 60 for however long he's healthy. I'm encouraged by what he's doing and I like it.
Okay.
I like it too. Who is in trouble here, though, is my question. If Paris Campbell is a significant part of the Colts offense, I don't see a way that Jonathan Taylor is a top 5 running back and Michael Pittman is 10 targets per game and Alec Pierce is a number 3 wide receiver.
Obviously, there's not going to be enough. If Campbell's going to get 7 or 8 targets per week, it's not going to be enough left over for everybody to eat. But I think they're going to be a team that throws 35 times a week minimum. Yeah. So if he's getting 8, that's 27 left over. If Pittman gets 10, 17 left over. If that's 7 for Pierce, 10 left over. Yeah, it feels a little tight. There might be some weeks where we don't see Campbell dominate. I put him in the same bin as Tyler Boyd, maybe a little bit behind Tyler Boyd, but a guy who can be a good number 3 receiver in full PPR. I think Boyd's got upside to help in non-PPR, to be honest with you.
You know what? It's reminding me a little bit of the Steelers from last year. Matt Ryan's air yards today, air yards per pass attempt, 4 yards. And that's
I had to get rid of the ball quick.
But it's not just that. It's every week now. It's not necessarily 4 yards, but he's among the lowest in the NFL. I think he went into today with the second fewest air yards per pass attempt in the NFL, ahead of only Kirk Cousins. So he's throwing the ball a ton. He's never throwing the ball downfield. I believe I heard on the broadcast that the Colts lead the NFL in 10-play drives of 10 or more plays, but they're not really scoring that much on them. So from a PPR standpoint, you could actually get a lot of production here because they're just throwing so many passes, and his completion percentage is usually very high. This is so short area. All right, Heath, let's hear your winners here. Aaron Jones, man. Only 8 carries, but 9 catches, 53 yards, 2 touchdowns in the air.
So obviously the best offensive player on this team besides Aaron Rodgers, and maybe just the best offensive player on this team.
Yeah.
He was much more involved in the passing game. I didn't see the first touchdown catch. The second touchdown catch would have been a great catch if he was a wide receiver. Just a spectacular play. You just have to hope that it continues now. This is what the Packers should do every single game. He should be one of their top 2 target getters, like he's been for the last 3 seasons.
The
He
first
played
touchdown.
77% of the snaps. He dominated third and fourth downs. He had both of their snaps inside the 10. The 77% is unofficial as of Sunday night, but if it holds, it's his highest snap share of the season.
First touchdown was one of those little shovel passes that went a yard.
Yeah, it was
I
an
love
inside.
those.
It's
Love
actually a pretty
those.
nice play though, because he wasn't really open. I was saying the stupidest touchdown passes. Who are your other winners, Heath?
Well, I thought that you usually just said
I got-
our winners,
yeah, I was-
and so
I
I,
was writing
wasn't
it
looking
down.
at the list.
Terry McLaurin and Gus Edwards.
Yes, I saw an interesting stat late in the week, and I don't remember who tweeted it, so sorry. I do this all the time. But Terry McLaurin saw a 24% target share from Taylor Heineke last year when Heineke was the quarterback. That is the highest of any quarterback that he's played with. He saw a 24% target share in this game and was very good. So I feel a little better about Terry McLaurin being what he's been, which is a mid-range to low-end number 2 wide receiver.
McLaurin or Cortland Sutton rest of season?
McLaurin.
Cortland Sutton. I'm so mad at Cortland Sutton. McLaurin or who's a good one here?
I know who you should say.
Christian Kirk. Tough.
That's tough. I think I'll say McLaurin. There's a lot of wide receivers in this group. And it's not the same group as last time with Gabe Davis and Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. It's an entirely different group, but they're all ranked in the same place.
They're all in that low end number 2, high end number 3.
There's
receiver,
like
right?
17 of those guys.
Yeah, they're absolutely both in there.
All right, Gus Edwards. How about this? Gus Edwards or Terry McLaurin? Who's more valuable rest of season?
Man, it's so hard to know what to make of this game. I was shocked by the usage of Edwards, and there were times where I thought he looked pretty good in short yardage. I don't think he's very fast. I'm not sure he's as fast as he used to be. And I don't think they're going to throw the ball to him. I'm going to say McLaurin in full PPR. Definitely Gus and none.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Gus Edwards, guys. Big story here. 53% rostered, 10% started. Understandable. 16 carries, 66 yards, 2 touchdowns against a really bad Browns run defense. But Drake had 11 carries for 5 yards. Justice Hill had 5 carries.
Yeah, I think if he gets 16 carries and no targets, then that 66 yards shows you what the floor is. Because he's not going to score every single week. There are going to be weeks where Lamar Jackson throws 2 touchdown passes and runs for 2 touchdowns, and no running back score. So Gus is probably going to be a top 24-ish running back next week, but he still has a pretty low floor in full PPR. He might be Damian Harris.
I don't think you need right, and Brian Robinson, like almost the same guy.
Right
what we saw today is he played 37% of the snaps. Drake had 25%. I wonder if they move on from Drake as long as Gus is healthy.
Please.
Just let him be the rundowns guy. Justice Hill played 7 of 17 snaps on 3rd and 4th down. Let him handle long 3rd down plays. And let Gus be Gus.
Yeah. All right. Well, he's only 53% rostered, so he's going to be a big-time riser, certainly on the waiver wire. That's an exciting one. Could have a good waiver wire week. All right. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, we'll talk about some losers from Fantasy Week 7. I don't know if we have to say anything more about Kyle Pitts and Drake London, but we do have more losers for you coming right up on Fantasy Football Today. Welcome back, everybody. Taking a look at Heath's losers. They are Kyle Pitts, Drake London. We'll say Pitts droppable in a 10-team league, London droppable in all formats, basically. 12-team or shallower, maybe.
You're never going to feel good starting Drake London, so sure.
No, you're not. And I know I'm being stubborn with both Drake London and Garrett Wilson. I feel like that I am now open to both of them being droppable. And I did drop Garrett Wilson for Chuba Hubbard late when the news broke of the trade on Thursday night. But I still think that they are very talented wide receivers, and I still think there's a chance in the second half they are contributors for your fantasy team.
Garrett Wilson, by the way, is Heath's other loser. He's 67% rostered. And the best argument I can make for Wilson as a drop is, look, he's coming off a 24-yard game, and he's been bad now for about a month. And the Patriots, I don't know how good the Patriots are going to be against wide receivers, but you're not starting him next week.
Right.
And then he's got Buffalo, and then he's got a bye, and then he's got New England again. So it's hard to look at the next 4 weeks for Garrett Wilson and say you're going to be excited about starting him. But keep in mind, Elijah Moore's status is in question, and Corey Davis is going to miss some time with what they think is a sprained MCL as we sit here on Sunday night. So, Dave, do you drop or hold Garrett Wilson with all that considered?
I think you can drop him. And I know it stinks. We fell in love with him pretty quickly, and we still love the talent, or I'll speak for myself. I still love the talent. But Zach Wilson's a mess. And I feel like he's never going to have stable consistency in this Jets offense.
But that's stable consistency is not a requirement for being rostered, especially as we go through the buys. And my concern right now is that he doesn't have the upside, because the guys I want to have on the bench are the guys that, okay, I'm forced to start someone. Can I imagine a scenario where this guy gets me 15 or 20 fantasy points because it just happens to be his week?
Well,
I can't.
That's fine. There's another layer to it. He's got the Patriots twice and the Bills once in a bye. Those are the next 4 weeks for the Jets.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's terrible for him.
All right, Dave's losers. Isaiah Pacheco. It just he was I think
What a ride that we all just went on.
48% rostered this morning, Dave, and now he's 70% rostered. And of course, if you missed it, there was a report that Pacheco got first team reps and he was going to start today. I don't even know if maybe he did, but the carries were very evenly distributed.
He did.
Dave.
Yeah.
Okay.
He started, returned the opening kickoff.
Oh. Dave, what do you think about Pacheco?
The leading running back for the Chiefs in snap share was Jerick McKinnon, 42% of the snaps. The leader in snaps on 3rd and 4th down for the Chiefs, 6 of 8 snaps, was Jerick McKinnon. The leader in snaps inside the 10, 3 of 4.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Jerick McKinnon.
You got it.
Yes.
And CEH had another trademark touchdown. Dude, it's a mess. We all got excited over Isaiah Pacheco. His best contributions in this game felt like it came on.
Yeah, I'm not going. I've taken enough falls. I'm not taking this one. I did not get excited about Isaiah Pacheco. Although I did let Twitter decide my last starting flex spot in Scott Fishbowl. I gave them 4 options: Isaiah Pacheco, Latavius Murray, DJ Moore, and Deontay Foreman. And by 60% margin, they chose Pacheco. And he was the worst option of the group, and I lost by 2 points. So thanks, guys. But it's there. I think the Chiefs running backs are just going to be. I can't drop any of them. And I bet Pacheco scores a touchdown and has a good game in the next couple of weeks. They're desperation flexes if you have too many players on a bye.
Heath, Twitter told me to trade Joe Burrow this morning, and I did it. So Twitter. Yeah.
Maybe we should stop listening to Twitter.
It was like a 70%. It was I traded Burrow and Sutton for Tua and Mixon. So I think it was a good trade, but Burrow goes off.
What was the Gabe Davis trade that Twitter hated you for?
That was me trading Jamal Williams and Alan Lazard for Gabe Davis and Zamir White to Dave. See how that turns out. We have to talk about Joe Burrow, and we'll do it in a minute. I shouldn't have waited this long to talk about a guy who's now has the first quarterback in NFL history to have 5 400 passing yard games in his first 3 seasons, according to ESPN stats. So let's talk about that. But first, Dave, you want to tell us about Kareem Hunt, who had 8 total yards today and 20 in his last 2 games.
He scored,
Yeah.
and he had 7 PPR points. 6 touches. Second game in a row with single-digit touches. I can't feel good starting Kareem Hunt.
Kareem punt
Yeah.
to the bench.
He's got a matchup against a well-disciplined Bengals defense, and then a bye.
Let's talk about Joe Burrow and that well-disciplined Bengals offense. What's so funny?
It almost sounded like Dave was more optimistic about the bye than he was about the matchup against the Bengals.
Yeah, well,
Look, I know what to do with Kareem Hunt on that week.
Yeah, they've been playing from behind each of the last 2 weeks, and that is just not suited. That is not good for Kareem Hunt. They need to have a ton of rush attempts for Kareem Hunt to have a good game.
And I think we all would have thought at the beginning of the year when they're playing from behind that is good for Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, you're right. And, I don't know what it was this week, but last week Hunt played so many third down snaps and did not have – I don't think he had a single catch last week. Maybe he had one.